Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealth for You. Today we're diving into one of Singapore's favorite ways to earn passive income from real estate without buying property yourself. The Amova StraitsTrading Asia x Japan REIT ETF, ticker symbol CFA on the SGX. If you've ever thought, I like the idea of collecting rent, but I don't have millions for a condo, then this one's for you. Stick around till the end, because we'll cover what REITs are, how this ETF works, its top holdings, the dividends, the risks, and even how a Fed rate cut could boost your income. And if you find this video useful, like this video so more Singaporeans can watch, and subscribe to Wealth for You for more insights on dividend investing. Just a quick heads up, this video is for education and entertainment only, not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing. Chapter 1. What are REITs and REIT ETFs? Alright, let's start simple. A REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. Think of it as a giant pool of money that owns income-generating properties, malls, offices, warehouses, even data centers. As investors, when you buy a REIT unit, you're basically becoming a mini landlord, and you collect dividends in the form of rental income. Now, what's a REIT ETF? Instead of picking one REIT, like CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust or Mapletree Logistics Trust, you buy an ETF that bundles a whole basket of REITs into a single product. It's like ordering a dim sum basket. You don't just get char siu bao, you also get dumplings, siu mai, and chichong fun. Diversified, fuss-free, and no need to choose which one is best. Chapter 2. Introducing Amova REIT ETF. Now let's talk about today's star, the Amova REIT ETF, ticker symbol CFA. Some of you might remember it by its old name, the Nikko AM REITs Asia x Japan REIT ETF. Launched back in 2017, this ETF tracks the FTSE EPRA/NAREIT Asia x Japan REIT 10% capped index. Don't worry, that's just a fancy way of saying it invests in some of the biggest and strongest REITs across Asia, outside of Japan, with no single REIT allowed to dominate more than 10% of the fund. Today it manages close to 500 million Singapore dollars in assets under management. That's pretty solid. And it tells you this ETF has both liquidity and strong investor confidence behind it. Chapter 3. Top 10 Constituents. So what exactly are you buying when you invest in the CFA ETF? Well, imagine owning a slice of some of the biggest landlords across Asia, all in one basket. You've got CapitaLand Ascendas REIT, the industrial powerhouse in Singapore. Right beside it is CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust, or CICT, which owns the offices and malls that many of us probably visit every week. From Hong Kong, there's the giant Link REIT, the city's largest retail landlord. And in India, you get exposure to Embassy Office Parks REIT, which manages top-grade office spaces. Back in Singapore, the lineup continues with Mapletree Industrial Trust, which even has data centers, and Keppel DC REIT, a pure play on the data center boom. Mapletree Logistics Trust adds warehouses across Asia, while Mapletree Pan-Asia Commercial Trust, or MPACT, gives you a mix of malls and offices across Singapore and Hong Kong. To top it off, you also own Fraser's Centrepoint Trust, famous for its suburban malls, and Suntec REIT, with the iconic Suntec City, Convention Center, and prime office towers. Notice the theme? Almost all the household name Singapore REITs are there, plus a dash of Hong Kong and India. In other words, it's a nicely balanced buffet of Asia's strongest REITs. Chapter 4. Geographic and Sector Exposure. When you break it down, this ETF is still very much a Singapore play. Almost 7 out of every $10 are invested right here at home, in the malls we shop at, the offices we work in, and the warehouses that power our online shopping. But it doesn't stop there. Around 13% is in Hong Kong, giving you exposure to some of the city's largest retail assets, and about 8% in India, tapping into its fast-growing office market. On top of that, there are smaller slices in South Korea, Malaysia, and Thailand, just enough to sprinkle in some regional flavor. By sector, it's a nice mix too. Roughly a third is retail REITs, think malls and shopping centers. Another big chunk, almost 30%, goes into industrial REITs, including warehouses and factories. Around 15% is in office REITs, and then you've got a little bit in data centers, hospitality, and diversified REITs to round it out. So if you love the stability of Singapore REITs, but also want a touch of Asia's growth story, this ETF gives you the best of both worlds. Chapter 5. Performance since inception. So, how has the CFA ETF actually performed since it first launched back in 2017? Like most REITs, it has had its fair share of ups and downs. If we zoom in on the past year, performance has been pretty flat, hovering around break-even, maybe a small gain of up to 1%. But 2025 has been kinder so far. Year to date, the ETF is up about 8 to 12%, depending on whether you're looking at the NAV or the market price. That's a healthy rebound after a tough stretch. But if we pull back further to the 3-year view, the picture is less rosy. The ETF is still in the red, down about 18% on a NAV basis. And the reason isn't unique to CFA. It's the same story across REITs globally. Rising interest rates in 2022 and 2023 squeezed the sector hard, pushing down valuations even for high-quality names. So, in terms of capital gains, this ETF hasn't been a superstar. But let's not forget the real reason most investors buy REITs in the first place: steady dividends and reliable cash flow. Chapter 6. Trailing Yield. Now let's get to the part that income investors really care about: the dividends. Over the past 12 months, the CFA ETF has been paying out a yield of around 5.5%. That's comfortably higher than what you'd get from CPF ordinary account, a fixed deposit, or even most Singapore government bonds. The payouts come in quarterly installments, usually about 1 to 1.2 cents per unit. Add them all up over a year, and you're looking at roughly 4.5 cents per share. With the ETF trading at around 83 cents, that works out neatly to the 5.5% yield figure. So, if your goal is to build a stream of regular passive income, CFA ETF does exactly that. Consistent quarterly cash flow straight into your account, without you having to worry about managing tenants or dealing with property loans. Chapter 7. Benefits and Risks. Of course, no investment is perfect, so let's be fair and talk about both the upsides and the downsides of this ETF. On the benefit side, the biggest one is diversification. With a single trade, you instantly own a basket of REITs across Asia, rather than having to pick individual counters. That also means you're not just stuck with Singapore, you get some exposure to Hong Kong, India, and other markets too. Add to that the quarterly dividends, which make it easy to plan for your income needs, and the relatively low expense ratio of about 0.55%, and you can see why many investors like it as a fuss-free way to build passive income. But there are risks to keep in mind. REITs by nature borrow a lot of money, so they're sensitive to interest rates. When rates are high, borrowing costs climb and profits get squeezed. There's also currency exposure, since some earnings come in Hong Kong dollars, Indian rupees, and other regional currencies, which can move against the Singapore dollar. And finally, let's not forget that REITs are not bulletproof. The tough years of 2022 and 2023 showed us how quickly valuations can drop when rates and inflation are unfriendly. So while the dividends are attractive, it's important to remember: prices don't always go up in a straight line. Chapter 8. How a Fed rate cut helps. So here's the big question everyone's asking: what happens if the Fed actually cuts rates? The good news is that lower U.S. interest rates are usually a shot in the arm for REITs. When borrowing gets cheaper, REITs spend less on interest and keep more of their rental income. Investors also tend to chase yield when bond rates drop, which makes REIT valuations stronger. And if financing costs come down, there's even room for dividends to tick up. In other words, a Fed rate cut is like handing REITs a cup of kopi shushu dai, less bitter, smoother to swallow. For Singapore income investors, that could mean the best of both worlds: some recovery in unit prices and the comfort of steady, reliable dividends flowing into your pocket. Chapter 9. Cash Flow Rich Mindset. And here's the part I really want you to remember. Too many people in Singapore get caught up chasing the next property upgrade or comparing whose condo is bigger. But let's be honest, a shiny condo doesn't automatically put money in your pocket every month. What truly matters is cash flow. And with something like the CFA REIT ETF, you can start building a steady, fuss-free income stream. No tenants calling you at midnight, no property taxes, no million-dollar mortgages weighing you down. Being cash flow rich means you're receiving money every quarter, like clockwork. That's what gives you real freedom. The ability to cover your lifestyle, reinvest for growth, and sleep well at night, knowing you're not just asset rich on paper. And remember the golden rule: it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. Stay invested, reinvest those dividends, and let compounding quietly work its magic. That's how your passive income snowballs over the years. Final thoughts. So, to wrap it all up, the CFA REIT ETF gives you broad, diversified exposure to Asia's strongest REITs. It offers a solid yield of around 5.5%, paid out quarterly. And with the Fed looking to cut rates, there could be upside in prices alongside stable dividends. But always remember, REITs come with risks, so size your investments wisely and don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you found this video helpful, give it a like so more Singaporeans can learn how to invest for cash flow, and hit subscribe to Wealth for You for more strategies on building passive income with Singapore stocks, REITs, and ETFs. Thanks for watching. And as always, let's stay cash flow rich, not just paper rich. See you in the next one.